Welcome to Nolan Knows. It's time to look at the news. Well, Kraft's macaroni and cheese got recalled. Apparently some people found some metal in the boxes of macaroni and cheese. Apparently getting your iron that way, it's not a good source, so they've recalled it on their own. Good for them. Here's a TV show I won't soon be watching. It involves RuPaul, Dr. Terry Dubrow, and Sandra Vergara. They're set to do a program on good and bad plastic surgery. This is good. I hope Nancy Pelosi gets to watch it and maybe find a way to get rid of that perpetual grin that she has. Elon Musk says in the future, human-driven cars may be illegal. Well, they might be. It wouldn't surprise me, though, if eventually they find a way to make cars drive by themselves relatively safely, just that at this point I don't even trust my own backup camera. A Nevada lawmaker wants medical marijuana for pets. Look, I'm a libertarian. I'm in favor of legalizing drugs and being forthright about it. Frankly, I don't care one way or the other about the pets, but I'm just trying to imagine what it would sound like. Like, hey man, like my dog needs some medicine. I don't think anybody will buy it, but it's not a bad idea. Dick Cheney has accused President Obama of playing the race card in a Playboy interview. You know, I've encountered this. Anytime you say anything bad about Barack Obama, they allege you're a racist. It's the color of his skin. Well, I don't think that's the problem. I don't think it's racism at all. I can think of plenty of people who have as much melanin or more in their skin than him who'd make much better presidents. This guy stinks. I watched a video about a laid-off American worker who is upset because there are foreign workers taking his place. In the free market, you know, if he went out to buy a car, he would try his best to get the best price. He would finagle with the car dealership and see if he could get the best price for whatever car he was trying to buy. Well, your employer has the same right to get the best price for labor that he can. And there's a natural equilibrium. If you pay too little, you get poor productivity, you lose money. You pay too much, again, you lose money. Let the free market do it. Don't let the government regulate the wages. Donald Trump has launched a presidential exploratory committee. Listen, he isn't going to run. He's done this before. He gets right to the point where he has to declare how much money he makes and he backs out. It's publicity, folks. He's a genius at it. He is not going to run for president. A shocking number of Democrats are pressuring Elizabeth Warren, the senator from Massachusetts, to take up arms and run against Hillary Clinton. Where could we have heard that before? Somebody I know I said that. I've been saying that. Hillary is not going to win, probably not even the primary, but definitely not the general. Mitt Romney is going to climb into the boxing ring with Evander Holyfield for charity. Well, it'll be interesting. It's fun. It certainly shows he's brave, but he was already knocked out once by Barack Obama. One more time from Holyfield. Won't be that big a deal. Like a barbershop. Next. Noah Galloway, double amputee Iraq War veteran, wows the crowd at Dancing with the Stars in his debut. I watched the video. You know what? You join the military to defend the United States, you got a blank check you just signed for your life. That means you've got heart. And he showed it on that dance floor. It's time for It Sucks to Suck. That's right, the government is just sucking the money out of your wallet and blowing it out someplace, one orifice or another. In this case, it's the Environmental Protection Agency. They have decided to spend $15,000 to look into ways for you to barbecue or for pit masters to barbecue without causing global warming. See, they don't want the grease drippings to hit the flame because somehow that increases the CO2 and it's in such a record amount that it's just making us boil with global warming. Tell that to the people in Massachusetts this winter. In any case, they've come up with a kind of a catalytic converter of sorts for grills. They say it'll help save grill masters' lives too. Literally, they say that. It's like, where have we seen grill masters dropping dead over the barbecue pit? I don't remember a story like that. But it's $15,000 of money they didn't have to earn, that they could take at gunpoint and shove down our throats in the form of a catalytic converter for barbecue pits. It's the stupidest, biggest waste of money I've seen in quite a while. Although it's not entirely surprising, that's just the way the government works. But alas, the EPA's not done wasting your money yet. Oh no. No, they got another $15,000 they've stuck into a device to see how long it takes you to get out of the shower when you're staying at the Holiday Inn. You see, they allege that you spend too much time in the shower, and if they could come up with a wireless device that would let everybody know you've spent too much time in the shower, they might be able to get you to spend a little less time, use a little less water, like it's somehow the end of the world that you spend an extra couple of minutes enjoying a hot shower at the Holiday Inn. It's a total waste of your money, and it's not surprising. It's the way the government works. Ultimately, what will happen with that little shower device is the hotels are going to find a way to use it to charge you a little bit more for spending an extra couple of seconds luxuriating under their low-pressure hot water. It's a terrible waste of money, but it's what the government does best, waste your money. It's time for Missed in the Media. This really was missed in the media. My producer just showed it to me this morning. It's an editorial by one Allison Benedict. She talks about sending kids to private school being a bad thing. She says not like being a murderer a bad thing, but a bad thing nonetheless. Her idea is that if we didn't have private schools and everybody sent their kids to the government schools, then people would compel the government schools to be better. I don't know what kind of vacuum Miss Benedict was raised in, but that's not what makes people do better. Competition makes people do better. She seems to have missed that entirely. The fact is, everybody improves their product. You look at Apple and their Apple Watch and the iPhones and the iPads and all of their devices. They're constantly in competition with somebody else, and they're constantly striving to do better. They have to do better because they have to represent to you a better value. That's what's great about competition. And that's what's not so great about government schools. Frankly, I'm in favor of eliminating them. I would totally get rid of public schools. I want a separation of school and state. Innovation happens in the private marketplace, not in government-funded marketplaces. This woman couldn't be further from right. You want that competition. You want the school system to know that if they don't do their job, somebody in the marketplace will. Somebody will innovate, come up with a better way, a better method, a new device, some way of getting a kid an education that's second to none. Public schools won't get better if we're all sending our kids there. They can't get better because there is no incentive to get better. Allison, I would argue that you're actually doing bad if you send your kids to public school. They're better off in private schools. I've been to both, and I know. Private schools compete with public schools, and that makes them all better. It's time for Obama Mania. The President of the United States, Barack Obama, made a trip to Cleveland, Ohio, and he spoke at the press club and suggested to the audience that perhaps one of the problems that we have in this country is not enough people are voting. He thinks that if we could find a way to make it mandatory to compel people to vote, that would offset big money in politics. It's a load of horse manure if I ever heard. The fact is, there are people who are voting now who have no business voting. People who don't know what's going on, who don't do anything but vote the party line, who take a stab at it when they close the curtain behind them in the voting booth. You may think it's outrageous that it's never going to happen. The president couldn't do it anyway, but under the right circumstances, Obama could do that. If he could get the legislature to do what they did, for instance, for Obamacare, where you get punished if you don't buy something, you could similarly write a law that says you get punished if you don't vote. Imagine, you're 18 years old or older, you're eligible to vote, you don't do it, and they just, where's the voting slip in your tax return? 2% of your gross pay. Thank you. They could do it. Probably won't. Certainly with the Republicans in charge of Congress, he wouldn't even dream of it. The idea of compelling people to vote is really antithetical to everything that we believe in this country. Leave the voting up to the people who know what's going on. If you don't understand the topic, and if you don't know anything about the candidate, then don't go vote for them. In fact, if you only know a few things, a few issues, a few candidates, vote for them and then walk out. Because you possibly could do more harm than good if you don't know what you're doing. That's a very powerful weapon, that vote. Don't waste it.